Hello, mic test. If you want the most updated US Treasury data for free, then watch this video till the end. And also there is a small gift from my side to all my subscribers. Today's video can help you make some macroeconomic financial models or do some projects on US Treasury data. So keep watching. Hello everyone, I'm 𝐤𝐵𝑉ik Dashora and I'm back with a new video and some new learnings. Today I'm going to talk about an API that I bet most of us would not know about. It is a directly available API of US Treasury financial data. It's a government API. So if you're new to my YouTube channel, on this channel I turn you into a successful financial programmers. Here I upload videos related to trading bots, implementation of AI in finance, and covering some highly valuable finance APIs. If you don't want to miss all this informational video, then hit on the subscribe button and also click on the bell icon. This US Treasury financial data Python API provides data, I should say macroeconomic data for USA. This data includes such as spending, revenue, interest rates, etc, etc. And for all these different data sets, there are several time series also available and which covers like pretty historical data for all these data sets. This is the API documentation, and as you can see that it's fiscaldata.treasury.gov. So it's a government website, it's a government API, and as you can see that there can be multiple data sets here that we can explore. And if you remember my 12 data video, in that video also we used to extract information from an API URL. So this is also an API URL, and if you copy and paste it in the browser, you can see that the entire data is available in a JSON format. Now we'll have to use some pandas functionality to make it in a tabular format, which is a data frame format. That we'll do in this video. Secondly, any such API URL can be constructed through these three different parts, right? The first part is the base URL. There is an endpoint which actually represents to the type of data that we are interested to, such as in this case rates of exchange. And then the third segment is the number of parameters we want, and if there is any filter on that, right? This is optional, right? So if we talk about the endpoint, right, I'll just scroll it down. So for example, if you are interested in say accrual saving bonds redemption table, in that case the endpoint is this one. So we'll have to paste this after the base URL, right, which is this one. The base URL is this one. So we'll have to paste it after this in order to get this data. And similarly for other data points, other data sets, we'll have to paste other things. So for example, in this case, if you are interested in say average interest rates on US Treasury securities, then we'll have to paste this one, and so on, right? Before moving to the Python code, if you click here on the data search, you can see that 6 type of data are available in this API. Things such as debt, financial summaries, interest and exchange rates, revenue, saving bonds, and spending. So for example, if you are interested in say interest and exchange rates, right? So there are different types of things available here. Now if I'm interested in say saving bonds value files, for example, so I'll just click here, I'll scroll it a bit, and you can see that the endpoint is available, the base URL is also available, and the full URL is also given to me. So I'll just have to copy this and paste it in the Python code, and then I'll extract information through this API URL in the Python code. Perfect. So let's move to our Python code, and yeah, this is the API documentation. I'll come here. So as I mentioned that we will start with importing requests, and we'll also import pandas as PD. The requests library is used to extract information from any URL, API URL that we were talking about, and pandas is used to do some data manipulation to make it in a tabular format. Now suppose the endpoint is this one. If you remember, we were talking about the average interest rates, right? So this was the endpoint. Right, if we go here, so yeah, actually I just copied and pasted this one. This is the endpoint, right? Now the second task is to make this API URL, right? So I'll just write API URL is equal to as it's mentioned here, it starts with the base URL, which is this one. So I'll just write it here. I'll introduce an f string here, and I'll put endpoint in the end to make the entire URL. So now the entire API URL will be the base URL plus the endpoint, which is this one. We are interested in the average interest rates, right? So now data is equal to I'm going to use get functionality of requests.get and then API URL.json format. Now let's see what is the data. So as we saw in that in this link, after pasting out on browser also, we saw that it was a lot of data, right? So we'll have to clean it up a bit. So if we just write data.keys, we'll get to know about all the things that are related to it, and I think I'm just interested in data. So I'll just write data and then data. Perfect. It's a list. Okay, so now let's do one thing, pd.data frame, and then so I'm actually converting all this in the data frame. I think we'll get the final data. Yeah, exactly. So we have this data frame in front of us, a table where on the left hand side we have all the record dates, and then security description, average interest rates from 2001 to the end. Actually we get maximum of 100 rows. Now we'll have to actually provide some filters here, because I'm not interested in what was the treasury bill interest rate in 2001. Suppose like I'm interested in last 3 years of data, so I'll have to provide some filters as well that we'll be talking about very soon. That will be introduced after the endpoint, right? So we have all this data that is available for this particular endpoint. There can be n number of endpoints. If we go here, you can actually search your endpoint here in this table. This link will be pasted in the description box, so you can directly go through that particular link, and you can see that there are many pages available here for different types of macroeconomic data. And if you are confused here, what you can do is you just click on the dataset search, and then select it from all these places. So for example, if you are interested in spending, then just come here and then say if you are interested in the daily daily treasury statement, scroll down, and then you'll see that there are various endpoints available for operating cash balances, for public debt transactions, for federal tax deposits, etc. So you can be using any of these endpoints in order to get all those information in the Python, right? Now, as I mentioned that we will have to provide some parameters that we want to display, and the filters, right, such as date, the filter on the date. So in that case, we'll have to like provide all these things in the end after writing the endpoint, right? For example, in this example, it's mentioned that after the endpoint, it shows a question mark, and then the fields that needs to be displayed, right? So these are the fields that needs to be displayed in this example, which is country, currency description, exchange rate, and record date. And then and filter is equal to, and then the record date GTE, and then 1st of January 2015. By saying GTE, it's greater than equal to. Let me just copy and paste it here. I saw that there's a table. Yeah, exactly. There's a table for all the types of parameters, operators that are used in the URL. So GTE stands for greater than or equal to, right? So yeah, another example of this one is, say, this link. So I'll just copy and paste it here. So now the API URL2 is equal to this one, right? So the entire API URL, right? Now we'll have to just change this a bit. So after this, actually, let me just introduce the f string here in the beginning, and we have an endpoint already introduced. So endpoint, and the fields in this example is, say for example, if I'm interested in record date, security description, and average interest rate, right? So let me just copy this entire thing and paste it here. I have to provide commas after all these things. So this is done. Now the filter is, say I'm just interested in the record date to be more than 2020 1st of January, right? That's it. So let's keep it like this only, right? I'll copy this and paste it here. Data2 is equal to this, and then that's it. Let me copy this as well and paste it here. Just replace this data with data2. Let's see what happens. So that's the thing. So yeah, we can see that different interest rates are now available. On the 31st of January 2020, treasury bill was for 1.683, treasury note was 2.144, treasury bonds were 3.841, etc., right, and so on. So this is how we can actually extract all the different types of information from this API. And I'm very happy to tell you that it's very, very amazing, and in future I'm going to use this API for some financial models as well. And There's a very good community actually building right now for like of all the people who are interested in financial programming, and I'm also trying my best to make this community as better as possible. And that's why I have a Patreon community, such that people can support me and can also become a very active member of that community, which helps each other. So there are people from different countries who communicate with each other and with me on various projects. And if you are interested to explore that community, you can just click on the link which is in the description box. And you can see that there are 3 different levels available over there, which is humans, angels and gods. And for all the different levels, there are different services available for different things. Now, before talking about the gift that I provide to all my subscribers, if you're still watching this video, I deserve 1 like at least, guys. So just click on the like button and just mention in the comment section how useful you find this video and what type of different projects that you can plan through this API. Now, the gift. The gift is that I share my Google Drive access with all my subscribers. So on that Google Drive, you can find all my codes and study materials that I use for my personal uses. In order to get a free access of my Google Drive, you just need to subscribe to my YouTube channel and then click on that access to my Google Drive button. Then after that, just follow some steps, basic steps, and click on that link, which is of Google form. Just provide some very basic details and I'll be using this email address to provide a free access of my Google Drive. Thanks for watching till the end. You can click here to subscribe to my YouTube channel to miss any informational video in future. You can click there to see how I made a Bitcoin trading bot which actually generated a very good return. And over there you can see how I use 𝐸𝐿ib library to do some technical analysis in Python. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.